Recently, YallaMotor did a comprehensive study on electric vehicles, particularly on the buying insights and how people are ready to either consider or buy an electric vehicle. Mm-hmm. How important surveys like this are for the MENA region?
I truly believe it's very, very important. Let me give you a bit of background how the original idea of this survey started. Mm-hmm. I think it was 3 months ago or even a bit more than that. So okay. YallaMotor overall, of course, we do have a very deep and comprehensive audience of car buyers. More developed markets, right? You name it, States, Europe and things like that. Which from an overall perspective might be fine, but also at the end of the day you need to localize.
The report have revealed a lot of interesting things which I'm sure you're going to tell us about.
There are not that many electric vehicles on the road as well, we must say that, correct? The message from the government, it's clear, it's electrification. Okay. In 3, 5, 10, 15 years down the line. They want to buy electric vehicles. They signed with Renault for the fleet, I believe this was for Diwa. Mm-hmm. So there is at least a lot more of information in the UAE that empowers actually car buyers to at least start thinking, towards buying an electric vehicle. More than 25% of the people who answer those questions, they don't know enough about electric vehicles.
Interesting, okay.
And usually sometimes the question I get is like, okay, but what can we do for that? Or from a manufacturer point of view, what can be done, right? And I believe choice is one of the most important things, because when people start seeing electric vehicles on the road, they start developing that trust towards electric vehicles. Unless you're fast charging it, but not all of them have actually that option. And to fully charge an electric vehicle, you need to spend at least 5, 6, 7 hours, depends on the vehicle itself, unless it's a Tesla, which you can fast charge in 45 minutes, which is not going to give you the full range as well.
Of course.
So yeah, there are a lot of challenges, but bringing more electric vehicles into the road will start developing the trust again within the car buying community. The price is another issue.
Okay.
They are extremely expensive. Mm-hmm. They are expensive, and the return of investment, it's another concern the car buyers have currently. Okay. Right? Because an electric vehicle costs 4 times more than a competitor on the petrol side. Okay. Right? And we did actually a video, so we compared the Chevy Spark with the Renault Zoe. Mm-hmm. Within 5 years, you still don't waive, that price bracket difference.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
So the petrol vehicle, it's still more affordable than an EV, which is something that wasn't clear.
Okay.
If absolutely. I come to you and I tell you, Alan, what do you think about electric vehicles? And you say, okay, they're more affordable, they're cost effective. But if you put the initial cost of purchase plus the running cost, even though the UAE subsidize the charging, is still not enough, because the price bracket is so huge, right, that let's say 5 years down the line still makes the vehicle a lot more expensive than the petrol one.
And I guess because there hasn't been that many electric vehicles in the market, the residual value is a bit of a mystery, in terms of how these vehicles are going to perform.
It's not clear. It's definitely something which it's not clear. So there are not currently used electric vehicles on sale.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So yeah, it's a big sort of a question mark.
How are they going to perform? Okay.
In terms of warranty as well. Another question I get a lot is like, right, what happens with the battery?
Yes, who's going to dispose of it? Who's going to?
Yeah. They do provide warranty on the battery, but yeah, I mean the battery is as the engine in a petrol car, right? And that's a massive concern that people has.
How do you see the manufacturers in this region and the dealer importers being geared up for electric vehicles?
They're bringing more electric vehicles.
Okay.
All right. Now, as I mentioned, you have 4 electric vehicles on sale. And I believe manufacturers and governments and the private sector as well, which includes us, right? Because throwing this light into the market also help manufacturers, governments to make better decisions.
Of course.
At the end of the day. So they need to bring these vehicles, they need to work with the government, they need to reduce definitely the price of the initial cost of purchase. And this is how they need to gear up.
Okay.
You know, I mean, they need to work together. Only the manufacturers, they will not be able to make it. Okay. Only the government will not be able to make it. On other third parties like private sectors as well, I mean, they will not be able to make it. I mean, green parking, for instance, is making a tremendous effort installing these charging stations, right? But well, you need green parking, you need DWAT, you need the government, you need the manufacturers,
of course,
the media,
the whole infrastructure,
the whole infrastructure. I don't know, after sales, spare parts.
Where's the reality, and how do we bridge the gaps, you know, between what is real and what is perceived?
So we have them here. So I'll give you the top 3 perceived advantages and top 3 perceived disadvantages. So for car buyers, the first perceived advantage is better fuel economy. Then it comes reduced carbon emissions. And another thing which, honestly, I don't know if it's either an advantage or a disadvantage, is where they say, I don't know enough about electric vehicles.
Interesting.
So that's in the top 3,
right?
Yeah. Moving on the disadvantage side, you have long recharging time, initial cost of purchase. And let's say inconvenient recharging infrastructure, right? I mean, I believe the advantages overall are clear. Right? And you don't need to address them other than educating the people with electric vehicles. That comes from manufacturers, government, and especially from media. I haven't seen across the GCC a lot of media talking about electric vehicles, which is unfortunate.
Yes, absolutely.
Because you have manufacturers, you have government talking about the future, and the media is like, all right, I'm not talking about it, right? Or you're not actually delivering that sort of the message.
Yeah.
On the disadvantage side, when we have the long recharging time, initial cost of purchase, inconvenient, let's say, the recharging in infrastructure, the long recharging time is actually education. And on an average, I mean, one car buyer will not commute more than 100 kilometers. An electric vehicle, depends which electric vehicle, but will give you 400 kilometers of an average of range. Okay. I was the other day with Rico from Tesla here in Dubai, in the UAE, and the guy was actually telling me the long recharging time, it's more of on the education again side, because Tesla is very data driven, right? Okay. So they analyze absolutely everything, the driving behavior, everything. And happens that, I mean, what they consume, the vehicles and those drivers, can be easily charged on a socket, on the wall socket, for 5 hours, you know, and you will be always running with a full charge.